CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. Today marks the one-year anniversary of Shanda Playford's disappearance. The Sudbury woman was last seen on Melvin Avenue, and tonight her father is asking for people to come forward and help him find his daughter. CTV's Elena Everson reports.
Kevin Playford is Shanda's father. He says she loves animals, camping, singing, fishing, and her dog, Charlie.
She had a good heart, a good soul. She was a good person. She just had some issues, you know.
Playford says 38-year-old Shanda was heavily addicted to drugs, including fentanyl and crack at the time of her disappearance.
Went from, smoking pot to doing ecstasy, that whole gamut of doing drugs until she hit the hard drugs.
Playford says writing poetry has given him comfort during this agonizing time. His dog, a pug named Teddy, too. He says not knowing is a nightmare with constant wondering.
So she's basically vanished in thin air. Is she alive? Is she not alive? If she's alive, what kind of a situation is she in? I've heard some bad stories about these dealers, these guys from Southern Ontario. So it's been really hard.
Greater Sudbury police say the missing person investigation into Shanda's disappearance is active and ongoing.
We've conducted a thorough investigation. We've spoken to over 100 different individuals throughout. We followed up on many leads and tips and information that's come through. We actively investigate those.
Police say someone knows something, and her father believes the same.
We do believe strongly that there are people in the community that have firsthand knowledge of Shanda's whereabouts, and we are pleading for them to come forward.
I beg these people, to find their humanity.
Playford says he has been told Shanda went to a known drug dealer's house on College Street the night she disappeared, and he believes she never made it out of there. Police say at this time they have not been able to corroborate any of the third-hand information. That's why they're appealing to anyone with direct first-hand information to come forward. Elena Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
A Winnipeg company and its driver are facing charges after being caught driving with a smoking tire through the town of Hearst. That from provincial police, which says it was responding to a call on Highway 11 at the time. When officers found the transport truck, they say the front passenger side wheel had completely separated from the hub. Several lug nuts were also reportedly missing, while the remaining parts showed significant wear. Both the accused and their company have been given a court date for June in Hearst. A 24-year-old Etobicoke woman is facing trafficking charges in connection to a North Bay drug bust. North Bay police finding the woman in the area of High Street and Olive Street and was wanted on an outstanding warrant. Investigators say they found more than $23,000 in fentanyl and Percocet following a search. The accused remains in custody pending a bail hearing. Well, it was an emotional night in Sault Ste. Marie this evening. Connor Dunn, the young athlete who was killed in a suspected drunk driving crash last year, was honored tonight, and his number 19 will live on forever at his hometown arena. A ceremony marked the occasion with the boys U18 and U16 Sioux Greyhound teams set to square off, filled with Connor's friends and former teammates, as well as Connor's younger brother, Cash. Before the mixed game, coaches, officials, and family friends spoke about the impact that the light-hearted young man had on each of them. The unveiling of his jersey at the Northern Community Center rafters was met with many emotions.
This is like his home. He went to Cora. He played here. He also is a big soccer guy, so soccer field's right there. His family is in the West End. So having this game here will mean the world to his family. And I know Connor himself, if he was watching down tonight, he's up there smiling and he loved every minute of it.
In a statement sent to CTV News, Connor's family writes, in part, words cannot describe how touched we are by this jersey tribute. In a close-knit community like ours, hockey is more than a sport, it's an extended family. Family and friends have created the Long Live Connor Dunn Scholarship to allow other young hockey and soccer players to pursue sports and overcome financial barriers in Connor's memory. Well, in the latest update on the Elliott Lake Arena saga, city councilors have now an expected opening date for the facility. Architects providing an update to council on Monday, telling councilors Rogers Arena is on time and on budget and should be ready by September 1st. Current work right now includes the installation of new cross bracing with the new bracing on the outside walls. New bleachers have been ordered and are expected to arrive in late May. Officials at Health Sciences North in Sudbury say they have plans to address the overcrowding and patients being placed in unconventional spaces. CTV's Angela Gemmell has more.
Capacity today at Health Sciences North is 120%. The 528 normal hospital beds are occupied. The rest are in spaces like hallways or lounges.
We're too small. We need to expand. So that we can, improve that patient experience.
McNeil says there are some short-term solutions like the alternate health facility at Amberwood Retirement Home, but the demand to expand the hospital is urgent.
120 patients in any one day in unconventional bed space, that is not an ideal location of care. And so there is an urgency for us to move forward on the planning.
The goal would be to expand the hospital to 750 beds by 2034 and 800 beds by 2043 due to population growth. The price tag would be in the billions, but McNeil stresses they're still in the early planning with the Ministry of Health. A spokesperson for the Minister of Health says the government has increased HSN's funding by 44% in the last 8 years, while also investing $5 million towards future expansion, adding, "We will continue to work with Health Sciences North to ensure patients in Sudbury and across Northeastern Ontario can access the timely, high-quality care they deserve now and for years to come." Nickelbelt MPP France Jelena says she's encouraged by the planning, but says it needs to move faster.
They move at the rate of a sleepy turtle. Health Sciences North will put out the next phase, and it takes 1.5 years for the government to say, oh, all is good, but we have a question on page 13. Really? It took you 18 months to get to page 13.
In the meantime, McNeil says while none of the staff want to treat patients in hallways, they'll make sure every patient receives quality care regardless of the location. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
The Association of Family Health Teams of Ontario is sounding the alarm when it comes to recruitment and retention of qualified staff. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Family health teams are usually made up of a lot of different professions, including a family physician, nurse practitioner, pharmacist, and dietitian. The Association of Family Health Teams of Ontario says all of the positions have been on a wage freeze.
There was an increase last year of 2.7%, but that was after over 5 years without any increases to those roles. So first and foremost, there's a challenge around just keeping pace with where we're at in terms of those roles.
Roger says a nurse practitioner can make up to $30,000 more in a hospital role, receiving a better benefits package, while a physician assistant can see a pay discrepancy of $40,000 to $50,000.
Some of our staff have been forced to take on second jobs to make ends meet, and these are highly dedicated, skilled professionals with years of experience who are working 2 jobs, some outside of the healthcare system.
In a statement, the Ministry of Health tells CTV News in part, through our $2.1 billion primary care action plan, we are both investing more in family health teams across the province and connecting everyone to a primary care provider by 2029. This year alone, our government is providing $601.7 million to family health teams across the province.
We're asking for that to all be released as soon as the next fiscal starts, right? Like, why are we waiting? If we're trying to get more Ontarians attached and we want to hit those targets. The second is to look at more investment to say, like, what is the pay? What's the right pay for these different roles? And let's make sure we're setting up the system that we're not every couple of years in this cycle of high turnover, because we don't want to be here again.
Rogers says there are approximately 2 million Ontarians waiting to be attached to primary care. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Greater Sudbury says it's one step closer to its goal of ending homelessness by 2030. At last night's meeting, council received a progress report on the city's roadmap. Key milestones include the Lotus program, a transitional housing project that provides on-site mental health and addiction supports. The facility opened last July, joining the Peace Tower project, which is on track to add 38 affordable units by this spring. Additionally, the city launched an ID bank in January and is preparing for a March workshop to address community discrimination.
And I think it's basically how do we work together to make sure that all partners in the community, businesses as well as government and in our institutions and our not-for-profits, are aware of how we support each other and make sure that we are a welcoming community and that we are greater together.
Looking ahead, the city says it is focused on expanding supportive housing. The RCMP is asking kids ages 4 through 14 across the country to help name a few class of police dogs. The service says 13 German Shepherd puppies are set to be born at its training center in Alberta. A few rules apply, including the name given must start with a B. It also can't be more than 2 syllables or more than 9 letters long. Last year's contest for the letter A saw names chosen like Ace, Argo, Ash, and August. The 13 kids whose ideas are chosen will get a special laminated photo of the puppy they named, along with other prizes. Online entries are due by March 26th. Are they ever cute? Something northern, like Bonspiel, maybe. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Amanda will have your full weather forecast. For now, look at the current conditions. No weather warnings to speak of tonight, but it is noticeably colder compared to yesterday. Minus 18 in Kapuskasing. Ouch. Minus 16 in Elliott Lake. Minus 10 in Gorbet. Seeing some flurries from across the area. We'll have more details after the break.
Pure Country 91.7 wants to send you to Sandals South Coast in Jamaica. We're giving away an all-inclusive Caribbean vacation for 2 every weekday. Listen for your chance to win. Pure Country Passport with Sandals Resorts. Get closer to the Caribbean.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. If you're feeling a little bit down on the winter blues, maybe you've been feeling the weather, the snow this week, I've got a fun fact for you. Since the beginning of February, we have gained roughly 1 hour of daylight. We're over 10 hours of daylight right now, so we're getting closer to spring ever so surely. And another positive note, we've got some sunshine on the way by the time the weekend rolls around. So looking at the forecast radar, we do have some snow in the forecast by the time Thursday begins, but by the time Friday starts, a little bit more on the way and some milder conditions as well. Let's take a look at that with the 7-day forecast, starting with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Chance of flurries for tomorrow, high of -8. 1 degree on Friday, chance of flurries on Saturday. Temperatures falling to -9, -12 on Sunday, but then we get back-to-back sunshine Sunday and Monday, and a chance of flurries on Tuesday. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, chance of flurries for tomorrow, high of -6, +2 on Friday. A little bit milder out there. Chance of flurries on Saturday. Temperatures fall to -10. By the time Monday rolls around, things warm up a little bit to -6 with a mix of sun and cloud. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, wind chill feeling like -32 in the morning tomorrow, so make sure you bundle up. High of -10, mix of sun and cloud. Chance of flurries on Friday and Saturday. Sunny skies on Sunday. High of -15 and a chance of flurries to start the week. For Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, wind chill feeling like -28 in the morning tomorrow, getting up to a high of -8 with a mix of sun and cloud. Chance of flurries on Friday, high of 0, and a chance of flurries to start the weekend on Saturday, but then we see some sunshine by Sunday. For North Bay, West Nipissing, High of -6 tomorrow, feeling like -26 with the wind chill. Chance of flurries on Friday. High of 1 degree, -5 on Saturday. Back-to-back sunshine on Sunday and Monday. The normal for this time of year is -3, so we're getting a little bit closer to the normal for this time of year. A chance of flurries on Tuesday. High of -2, and then a mix of sun and cloud on Wednesday. So Ian, we do have some colder temperatures, but the good news is there's some sunshine. Sending it back to you.
Thanks so much, Amanda. Well, the Ontario government is modernizing the veterinary assistance program to ensure livestock producers in northern and rural Ontario have reliable access to care. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
Radio.
Minister of Northern Economic Development and Growth, George Peary, says agriculture is one of the pillars of Northern Ontario's economy. If the sector is to grow, vets are needed. It's why the government is looking at updating the veterinary assistance program.
So we've got a streamlined process. They come in, they fill in their applications with the, with the clinics. We turn them around and we get the funding out the door.
Other updates to the program include expanding eligibility, recognizing registered veterinary technicians as eligible participants, and increasing the per-kilometre compensation rate for non-isolated veterinarians, while also making telemedicine an eligible expense.
This is perhaps the most significant thing I've done in the agriculture sector so far. And that's we did it very collaboratively. We're not afraid to fail forward. Now, if something isn't right, the stakeholders, because they're fully involved with the development of these programs, will come back to us and say, okay, you got to tweak this or tweak that.
The New Democrats agriculture critic John Vantoff was a dairy farmer for 35 years and appreciates the upgrades, but doesn't think they're a game changer.
When the program was created in 1996, they paid $1 a kilometre to help the vets service their clients. At that time, the Ontario Veterinary Medical Association was recommending that a vet charge $2. So the farmer put in $1, and now the new rate is $1.50 a kilometre, 20 years later. But the Veterinary Medical Association is recommending that the vets charge $5.20 a kilometre.
Updates to the veterinary assistance program will take effect on April 1st. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
In Sault Ste. Marie, the wait list for childcare remains long. A new partnership between the local YMCA, College, and Social Services Board will return a previously closed daycare to its former glory, adding 80 spaces in the process. CTV's Corey Nordstrom has more.
A once thriving daycare at Sault College has sat vacant the last 5 years. The YMCA, the college, and the local services board have signed an agreement that will see this site thrive once again.
This space, in all likelihood, will be for toddlers, and then we also have a room that looks exactly like this on the other side of the daycare that will be for preschool, and in the middle there's an infant room as well with a separate sleeping room.
We're talking about 10 seats for infants, 30 for toddlers, and 40 for preschool children.
We have a wait list of about 2,000 to 2,200 children, give or take, and it means 80 new spots for children across our community. It's a really, really big deal.
The agreement includes a number of perks for those at the college. 4 of the 80 childcare spots will be dedicated for students' children, and those in the early childhood education program will have placement opportunities on campus.
It's something that students who are parents can take good advantage of, and also the fact that we're centrally located. It's a great spot for people of all walks of life to have their kids taken care of in a very safe and comfortable environment.
The YMCA has already hired some staff for the new child care center at the college, but is still looking for more. Pagnuco adds that there is some minor work needing to be done on site before it can reopen.
I'm assuming that the renovations are going to take anywhere from 2 to 3 months. With a quick move-in time, I'm really hoping to see the center open by May.
Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
There's more ahead tonight on CTV News. For now, let's go to a live shot of the Sudbury Water Tower. All lit up tonight, and it was likely shining at least twice for the Sudbury Wolves. This shot courtesy of the Wolves organization. We'll check in to see how they did with the Greyhounds after this. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario. Tonight it was a contest of whose bark was bigger as we had ourselves a good old-fashioned Battle of the North between the Sioux Greyhounds and the Wolves, who are here in Sudbury.
He is upper body listed day-to-day. Score!
Gary Beach with the call there as Jens Yulia finds the back of the net thanks to an assist from Blake Clayton. They tie the game towards the end of the second at 2 apiece. That would be all she wrote, though, for the Wolves as the Greyhounds come back with a monster of a third period. 3 unanswered goals from Andrew, Hayes, and Fitzgerald, respectively. Sault Ste. Marie goes on to win this one 5-2. Former NHLer and Sudbury native Ron Duguay has stage 4 colon cancer. Duguay's family making the announcement on social media. The family has set up a GoFundMe campaign to help pay for treatment, says he's now turning to alternative and holistic treatments as well as standard cancer treatments in the U.S. and abroad. Duguay's number hangs from the rafters at the Sudbury Community Arena, one of only 6 Wolf jerseys to be retired. Team Canada has released the names of 50 athletes representing Canada at the Paralympic Winter Games. Among the competitors are 2 Northerners. Logan LaRiviere from Lively will be competing in the men's para-Nordic skiing visually impaired classification. LaRiviere made his World Cup debut last season in Italy. And Brooke Ailey from North Bay will be para-Nordic skier Madison Mullen's guide at the upcoming games. Mullen and Ailey picked up 3 silver medals at the Para-Nordic World Cup in the women's visually impaired event. Ailey is a student at Nipissing University. The 2026 Paralympic Winter Games kick off in Milano Cortina next Friday. Well, Stompin Tom Connors wrote songs about everyday Canadians, truck drivers, miners, and loggers. While beloved by Northern Ontarians, Connors was from Atlantic Canada, where his hometown is looking to take a page out of Sudbury's book and put up a statue in his honor. CTV's Nick Moore has that story.
It's from the right red mud. Before he became a Canadian music icon, Charles Thomas Connors started it all in St. John, where he was born February 9th, 1936.
One of his first songs that he ever wrote was Reversing Falls, Darling.
Connors spent those early formative years in the port city surviving extreme poverty. An effort is now afoot by the St. John-based Hemmings House production company to honor Stompin Tom Connors with a statue in his hometown.
He really represents the human spirit when things are difficult, and to be able to overcome incredible obstacles, to only inject this sense of pride and spirit throughout our entire country.
Connors' home province has always proudly called him their own. His ties to Prince Edward Island run deep after he moved to Skinner's Pond later on as a child. That island connection also cemented by this tourism ad. 800-565-7421. A statue of Stompin Tom was unveiled in Sudbury, Ontario, 2 years after his death in 2015.
It's time for St. John to stand up and say, this is our son.
Last night, St. John City Council voted unanimously to move forward with the statue idea here. Fundraising will soon begin.
So St. John, we need to honor this guy and show him respect and honor, and his family as well, just to say we love this guy.
The group would like the statue to be located in a prominent area uptown, such as King Square or here along the waterfront. The group hopes a statue of Connors will be up sometime before the end of the year, putting this legendary Canadian back in his old stomping grounds. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. John.
Finally, today, schools, nonprofits, corporations, even TV stations made an effort to wear pink. CTV's Madison Merrier has more on why.
Pink shirts lined the halls at many schools in Sudbury as a visual representation of bullying prevention.
Every student wants to be able to come to a school where they feel safe, where they feel accepted, where they feel comfortable, and where we all share kindness. And when we wear pink shirts, we're coming together as a community.
The Anti-Bullying Day began when a grade 9 boy wore a pink shirt to school in 2007. His schoolmates then stood up in solidarity wearing pink shirts, launching what is now a global movement. According to the 2019 Canadian Health Survey on Children and Youth, 71% of youth aged 12 to 17 reported experiencing at least one form of bullying in the past year.
Like someone who has previously been bullied, when you come to school and you see everyone around you standing up against it, it's a really great feeling.
Pink shirt, it means kindness, that everyone should show kindness to everyone.
It's not kind to bully. If you bully someone and you ask them to play, they're not going to let you play.
Nonprofits are also standing up to bullying and harassment.
It's based on the idea that we should not be bullying people, and to support those who have been bullied and ensure that people don't get bullied in the future. It's just an opportunity to talk about it and be more visible. It's not specifically a 2S LGBTQ day, although, we do acknowledge it.
North Bay police officers are also taking a stand in the global movement.
Schools like to use the word bullying, and as police, we use the word criminal harassment because bullying often leads to criminal behavior, such as threats and intimidation and harassment and sometimes physical violence.
Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
Well done, everyone. An important message for us all. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Wednesday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. Good night.